Today's Mailbag Monday video is brought to you by caffeine. Got 5 envelopes here from various places around the United States. Let's open them up and see what we got in them. So this first one comes to us from Newark, Ohio. Not sure where that's at. It does ring a bell though. Let's see what we got in here. Let's give the old rip and pull. Seems to be well packaged, protected. Oh yeah. This postcard looks old. It's because it is. It is from 1908. In really good condition. Fairly good condition. This is Umbrella Rock that's on Lookout Mountain. Now Umbrella Rock is still there. You can't get to it like this gentleman is. It's fenced off, and I think once or twice a year the United States National Park Service opens it up and kind of puts like a little temporary fence around there, and you can actually go out there and touch the rock, do whatever you want to, hug it, kiss it, whatever. But like I said, it's only once or twice a year. I think it'd be pretty interesting to go do that. But anyways, if you can look right out here, that building is a hotel that was actually kind of hanging off of Lookout Mountain back in the early 1900s. Forgot the name of the hotel. I want to say I have a picture on my phone somewhere of it. If I find that picture, I'll put it up on the screen here. But yeah, I think that's pretty interesting from being that old, and the ink and everything is still in really crisp shape, and always amazes me that how people's handwriting was very beautiful, for lack of better terms, back in those days. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. I have a couple of postcards of Umbrella Rock, but none like this and none this old, so I had to get it for the Lookout Mountain collection. So this next one comes to us from St. Joseph, Missouri. Don't know where that's at. Never heard of it. If you know where that's at, let me know. Alright. Got another postcard from Lookout Mountain area. This is the Incline Railway number 2. Now, I'm not sure how old this card is. Usually some of the older ones will say put 1 cent or 2 cent stamp here. So I'm not sure. This may be a reproduction print. I'm pretty sure it is. It doesn't look old. It doesn't feel old, I guess you'd say. But I'd never seen this picture of the Lookout. And if you kind of look right here, it looks like they had a little platform where they could put luggage or stuff like that. I know the incline was part of transportation at one point, not just a tourist destination. There was a stop in the middle where they could get off to the neighborhoods that are halfway up the mountain, that sort of thing. It says this style car was in service between 1920 and 1949. So this is more likely a reproduction of the photograph. But yeah, I thought it was interesting to... Okay, it says on the front of the car is the container that was used by the original incline cars to haul coal when the engines used coal for fuel. That's pretty interesting. So I think that's kind of why I got this. It specifically mentions what that little platform or scoop or whatever that is there. Nothing too fancy. I think it was a couple bucks. Didn't pay a whole lot for it. I knew it wasn't an original card, but when I was there a couple of years ago, I didn't see it there, the gift shop and stuff. So anyways, just another one to add to the Lookout Mountain Incline Railroad collection. So this next one comes to us from Lakeland, Florida. I had a sister who lived in Lakeland, Florida for a couple of years. She doesn't live there anymore. But anyway, I know where Lakeland, Florida is at. You don't have to tell me. This envelope. Kind of tricky. I didn't want to cut into it. Alright, this is the log flume at Six Flags over Georgia. This is one of the most popular and exciting rides ever, devised as Six Flags over Georgia's Log Jamboree. Swiftly moving water propels the passengers aboard the logs toward a thrilling, splashing ride down the flume. Copyright 1977. So this card's from the late 70s, early 80s. Thing about this is, this ride is no longer in operation. That's why I bought it. The ride is still there. I think they started tearing parts of it down for different rides and such in the area. I want to say they're going to get rid of it altogether, obviously, because it's in pieces now. Hasn't been used in quite a while, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure this is the log flume ride that I'm thinking of. But yeah, nothing too fancy about it. I like Six Flags over Georgia. It's kind of the classic, classic view before it got, I don't know, overpriced and all that sort of thing. I remember back in the day, you could go to Six Flags over Georgia for $25-$30 maybe at the most, and parking was $5. And I looked at the other day, it was $65-$75 for a one-day trip there, not counting parking, which is 20 plus, if not more. So anyways, I just liked it. Add to the collection of my theme park postcards that I'm amassing. And this long envelope comes to us from Elizabeth, New Jersey. Not too familiar with New Jersey, so I don't know where that's at. If you know, let me know. Interesting little stamp there. Was a poinsettia, looks like. Anyways. I got this one wrapped up pretty good. Alright, so what do we have here? Balance Rock. This is at Rock City Gardens. And as many times I've been there, 2 or 3 times, I never realized the Sky Bridge, the little swinging bridge, is that close to the Balance Rock. I never realized it until I saw this postcard. Kind of reason why I bought it. Now, the photograph is from 1946. Now, if this is a real one, maybe that's not 1946. I don't know. Because the postmark looks like 1935, 1939. Can't really tell. Anyways. But once again, you have the nice, beautiful handwriting from the day. Okay, there's 1939 there on the bottom. There's another postmark. So this card is from 1939. This is what they call a real picture postcard, I believe. I just thought it was neat because it shows the early days of Rock City and how the Sky Bridge is in relation to the Balance Rock. Now, I may get a chance to see this again within the next couple of months, let's just say. I might have something going on in that area that might take me to Rock City. We'll find out. All right, the last postcard from this week's Mailbag of Monday comes to me from Circleville, Ohio. Never heard of Circleville, Ohio. Looks like I can just slice it right here. Let's see about the old slicing. I need to get my cutting board back out here. I'm going to redo my top, my little workbench top here, soon enough. It's on my list of things to do. A long list of things to do, but you know. Alright, so it looks like we have a Lookout Mountain Mailbag Monday. This is another view of the Incline Railway number 2. If you remember what I said previously, there was a station halfway up the mountain, and that is the station right there that I was speaking of. There's a platform there and more of a platform there. It's kind of covered. That platform is still there, and that one's still there. I believe that one's been redone. It's got like a metal base and stuff. This one is a rock base, and I want to say it has like terracotta roof, or I might be wrong. Anyways, you can kind of see it there. It almost looks like there's somebody there waiting for the trolley to come down. on here it says 1913. So all these, most of these postcards I got are pretty old, except for that one from Six Flags Over Georgia, which is okay. This one was never sent off. It looks like they wrote on it, we're going to send it off, but they never did. So I guess they just kind of wrote their thoughts and, you know, here you go, and handed it to their friend that wanted to read it. But kind of hard to read through the camera here, but pretty interesting, where they talk about their experience from the incline, and the incline there tells you information there about it. It's interesting. I have a couple postcards like this, but none are black and white. So the black and white kind of piqued my interest, I guess you'd say. Just one of those interesting ones that I didn't have, and it wasn't very expensive. I'm not buying too many overpriced cards these days unless I find something that's, I'll think I'll never see it again. But another thing I'm doing, if I find one that has a postmark or dates on it, I'm trying to get those. But I'm still not going to pay absorbent amount of prices for these cards. So if you're selling postcards on eBay, watch your pricing. Anyways, I just thought it was interesting, the black and white view of it. Another thing is you really don't see the trains you actually see. There's one right up there at the top coming down or going up, and the other one will be pretty far down here where the lower station is. So usually when you see Lookout Mountain Incline Railway postcards, you see one, if not both, trains on the track. And this was kind of unique because that's not really the focus, as you know, it's up there. It's more the track focus. So just one of those interesting cards that I got for a pretty good deal that had a interesting little story in the back of it, and it'll go nicely in the collection. Well, kind of sorry to tell you, but today's Mailbag Monday was not very had a lot of variety to it. Had a couple from the Incline Railway, a couple from one from Rock City, and one from Lookout Mountain. This is actually Point Park now is what this place is called. There's actually a museum right in this area overlooking it. I think it's called Ox Museum. And then we have one card from Six Flags Over Georgia. Kind of interesting card with the old log flume. I rode that log flume in 1999 or 2000. Can't remember which. It was in the spring. So it was the spring of 2000 I rode that, if I'm not mistaken. I went there on a trip with one of my buddies. This was, you know, kind of days before the internet. We went there to actually ride a specific roller coaster that was brand new, and we got there and it wasn't even open yet. They were still testing it. So never got back to riding that roller coaster, as it was shut down a couple years later and they moved it to a different park. Kind of sad. Anyways, I digress. If you ever been to Six Flags Over Georgia, or you ever rode the Incline Railway, or you remember the Balance Rock or anything like that, let me know in the comments section below. And like always, appreciate y'all watching. We'll see you next time.